What's up, primates? I'm Shane the Skeptic, and as always, I thank you for tuning in to my channel to watch my content. Today, I got a good friend with me to review this video that, you've all read the title, so you already know what we're talking about today. We're talking about a child predator who was a Christian, who felt justified in his actions because of the fact that he was a Christian, and who better to talk about the harms of Christianity with than with one of my atheist brothers. So my brother in Christ, DJ Oz, who I also have to thank because I'm looking at that live view count. I mentioned the stream when I was on your live. I think I hijacked some of your view. I shouldn't say hijacked, you stream ended, but you get the point. So thank you for being here, Oz. How are you doing today, man?
Man, well, first of all, I'm feeling good, and thanks for having me on. And yeah, we about to get, and I'm glad that those that were on the channel, we were doing reviews of music, everything. But you know what? These topics are way more important than us reviewing music. So let's get at it, man, because this fitting to be bananas.
Yeah, no, it is. We're obviously we're not going to hold back. There's no reason to hold back anything. There's no sugarcoating. There's no nice version of saying things. There's people in this world that do not deserve kindness. There are people in this world that do not deserve empathy, and those people should be treated accordingly. I very strongly believe that.
So backstage, Shane gave me the appetizer. Let's say that he gave me. He was like, here's what's fitting to go, and I was like, bro, nah, dog. Nah, so I'm going to be seeing and hearing this real time, and I already told Shane, based on just the little bit you gave me, as a father of 4 and having 2 daughters, I'm probably gonna go ape shit, bro.
Right, because
go ape shit.
You think you have some idea of how disturbing what you're about to see and hear is, given the fact that you know that it's a child predator. But no, it is however bad you imagine it to be, it's worse than that. It really is worse than that. And I'm gonna not make this about our former friend Khalil Allah, Justin Downing, but one thing that I want to say that I think his situation and this situation have in common is that I'm not arguing that religion could take a person who is not already a pedophile and turn that person into a pedophile. So I always want to clarify what I'm not saying. Right. That's not what I'm saying. Now, here is the problem, though, is what religion can do, and it's not just Christianity, as we've seen with our former friend Khalil, right? Is what religion could do is it could make pedophiles feel like their desires are not sick desires to have, and that they're justified in carrying out these actions. They feel morally justified in seeking relationships with literal children, in many cases prepubescent. And that's what it is. And if you look at the reasons people defend marrying children, if you look at people who support child marriage, try to find a defense where they don't get religious. They always get religious. It's always, well, members of this religious group marry this young, and it's always older men and younger women. It's younger girls, not women, younger girls. And so, yeah, we're gonna get into this. So what we're gonna be watching is body cam footage. Now, I watch body cam footage a lot. I like to see. There's a lot of the world that you get to see. You get to see the world through a very specific lens by doing so, and yeah, one thing I'm going to say is reason number 4,723 that I could never be a police officer. I would commit police brutality. Absolutely. There are so many people in this world that if I was an officer of the law and they said some things I've heard them say, I would go to prison with a smile on my face. Like that's just what it is. So got that screen pulled up, and yeah, I'm just gonna, as we normally do when we review videos, I'm gonna play parts of the video. I'm gonna pause. Oz, if you have a moment where you want me to comment, you tell me to pause. I'm a pause it on your request as well because we're both doing this. So
And you know I will.
I know you will. All right, let's do it.
On July 8th, 2022, police responded to a call for a report of a suspicious male wandering around the neighborhood. While en route, dispatch advised that they had been getting calls about the same suspect for weeks. The suspect, later identified as Timothy Nielsen, was looking for a 12-year-old girl who he found online. Nielsen came across the girl's YouTube channel and would leave inappropriate comments on her channel. That's when her parents decided to take the YouTube page down. Over the years, Nielsen would disguise himself as someone else and contact the girl on her other social media platforms. He would try to contact friends of friends until he was able to locate the area she lived in.
I'm gonna go ahead and pause here and just say that clearly friends of the family failed this girl as well. But how was a stranger online able to contact you wanting to know the whereabouts of a little girl and get that information from you? There should be nothing somebody could say to you as a stranger that could convince you to give them the whereabouts or general whereabouts of a child that you know. I shouldn't have to be I'm not a parent and I know this. You know what I mean? Like,
There's well, I'll tell you that as a parent, there's and three of them still being minors. Three of them still being minors. If you call and ask me about the whereabouts of my children, and I don't know who the fuck you are, we got problems.
your best case scenario is getting ignored, but with somebody like you or me, I would give you a location, but it wouldn't be a location of her whereabouts. It would be somewhere where I wanted to meet up with you. And
Exactly.
you'd be showing up and you'd be wishing it was Chris Hansen and the police there.
Yeah, you're gonna wish that it's gonna be anybody but this guy.
Yeah, and so when people show restraint, I don't know. I don't know how they do it. I don't have restraint in me, and I don't feel like I fucking really need to be honest with you. But we're gonna keep watching here. So
That's when Nielsen would travel from Oregon to Ohio to try and find her.
On someone's door trespassing?
Yeah, if you don't have permission to be on their property, absolutely. So why are you going door to door if you're trying to meet some girl from the internet for a
oh yeah, I don't think they really mentioned. Okay, this is reviewing the footage too. So the reason the cops were called is because he was going door to door because he located the general whereabouts of this girl. He didn't have her exact address, so he was knocking door to door trying to find her. So yeah, that makes sense that somebody called the police when you have this guy who just fucking look at this guy. You can the sun's shining in his face. You get what I'm saying though. Look at this guy. He's going around looking for this 12-year-old. Yeah, no,
And
clearly.
Well, and you went from Oregon, and for those that are not familiar with a map, you went from Oregon, which is way over here on the West Coast. You traveled, you took your perverted, disgusting ass all the way to the Midwest, way over here in Ohio. You went from Oregon all the way to Ohio. How fucked are you in the head?
This is for one specific child. Now, traveling a long distance isn't something that you do if you have a single normally isn't something that you do if you have like a single booty call in mind. Like if you're traveling that kind of distance, you have plans to meet more than once. You've already have this in your head that there's potential for more than a first date. You are not buying a whole fucking plane ticket, flying to another state for a single booty call. Well, some people would do that, but even people that could afford plane tickets that often, and I'm talking not pedophiles, like people that are just going for like hookups, right? There still has to be some level of pretty high interest for you to be willing to sit on a plane for that long,
bro. And that's what I'm saying. So I'm going to use Jen and I as this example. She lived in Los Angeles, California. Yeah. I lived in Fort Wayne, Indiana, right? Which is a very, very similar distance of traveling. This was not just a random, hey, I'm gonna go meet up with this chick and go do the bang bang. No, these were
Hell no.
ongoing conversations that there's a possibility we may want to share more together as consenting adults. But the fact that you're doing this as a pedo, you're going from Oregon all the way to Ohio.
You
That's crazy, bro.
and then it's already yeah. We could talk all night before we even hit plays. I'm gonna keep going before, and then we'll get more to talk on.
For date,
I've been after her for 5 years and I haven't heard nothing from her.
Okay, there we go. He just said I've been after her for 5 years and I haven't heard nothing from her. So first of all, again, even if you're not a pedophile, let's take it to that example. If you're trying to contact somebody for 5 fucking years and not getting a reply, they're not interested. And you're beyond harassing them. That is the kind of thing where, again, even absent of the pedophilia aspect, that's reason for a restraining order at the least.
Rotate before I go off.
Yeah, you forgot every word in your vocabulary for about 5 seconds there. You were looking, yeah, you didn't know how to talk. There was nothing you could say. That I did that. That's the kind of that's all you can feel hearing this shit.
If I find her one day, that's fine. If not, I can leave. I just want a no answer or a yes answer.
yeah. Well, going door to door isn't gonna find
What
her.
am I gonna do? Sit out here wait for them to pull out of the driveway?
Well, you don't even know where she lives.
I know I do, but I had my cell phone taken away from me. Like I was sleeping over there by the Walgreens,
Okay.
and in that night, someone took my cell phone from me. So
Also, what am I going to do? Wait for her? Also, I was sleeping outside of Walgreens because I flew here to wait for her. Okay. You're showing up to another state and sleeping outside waiting for somebody. Now we're going to, yeah.
I don't know which.
So what's your long-term plan here? Because I mean,
long-term plan
we got several complaints about you coming up, knocking on people's doors, soliciting.
That's not right, man.
Well, that's why I'm here. I'm not just driving
saying that
around.
didn't happen. I'm just saying if I could get a yes or no answer for her, I would leave. You know,
I'm going to venture to say if you haven't found her yet, it's probably a no.
How are you to say that, man? I don't know what address.
Well, because you don't know where she lives. You don't even know who she is.
Are you?
Because hold on. Bro, we'll leave out the half. We'll just say 5. It's been 5 years. That's your reason to know that it's a no. That's your reason to know that it's a no. And that would be whether it's someone underage, a minor, whether it's a minor or even an adult, a consenting adult. 5 years of no contact and blowing you off and dismissing you suggest that it's a no, bro. Move the fuck along.
Yeah. Move the fuck on. It's
Man, I swear to God, if one of my kids ever call me like talking about this kind of sideways shit, bro, y'all.
And also the reality is,
y'all never see me again.
Yeah. Depending on what state you live in, some states, if you do something to a pedophile, you'll be fine. But some states, you do something to a pedophile, you'll be charged with a hate crime for it. So it depends on the circumstances in the state. To be honest with you, because they're all different. Like I live in Texas, and this is a actual law in Texas. If let's say I'm walking to work and I see some woman getting raped, and I go over and I decide to not only stop the rape but kill the rapist. There is a specific written law that protects me from any legal punishment. It's not against the law to kill a rapist to stop a rape. In Texas, you do the same thing in California, you're going to get charged with that at least a manslaughter charge, even though you were doing it to stop a rape. I mean, maybe if you're rich, you have a good lawyer, blah, blah, blah. What are the specifics of the case? But the reality is that these people are surprisingly pretty protected. Why is it a hate crime? Well, it's considered a hate crime because they say you're doing it based off their sexual orientation. That's the argument. I would argue that it's not even about their sexual orientation. It's about their actions. Because if you're a pedophile and you don't ever do anything about your pedophilia, nobody needs to even know that you're a pedophile if you keep all that fucking sick shit in your head, right? But I'm talking about attacking somebody not for their thoughts, for their actions. Somebody that's doing this has acted upon their pedophilic desires. Those people at the only argument against killing them is if you kill them, they can't suffer anymore. That's the only good argument against killing them. And so, yeah.
So I don't know. I'm in Indiana, and I'll just say this: I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck what the consequences are. You do that to one of my children, or even any of the children that I know. Like if I'm aware, we gonna have problems, and I'm not afraid of prison. I'm not afraid of going to prison if it means defending a child.
Well, yeah, no, but also, right, you would have a pretty good status in prison because people would know why you were there, and if the reason you're there is because you killed a child molester, like you're gonna be better off than the child molesters are. I'll tell you that.
Right.
And so, yeah,
Yeah,
no, that's yeah.
Bro, I give no fucks.
Yeah. Well, and the thing is, it would be worth it. You would be in prison, but like a lot of people have served prison sentences, and they've said, yeah, it was worth it. Like there have been plenty of people who on their way to prison, they're like, yeah, just because of the fact that I killed the person who did this, it was worth it to me. So, yeah. And I know what some people might be thinking. They might be thinking, oh, Shane and Oz are advocating for violence. Yeah. Yeah, that is what's happening. Anyway,
Can I follow up on that real quick?
yeah.
When it comes to taking advantage of or abusing or harming those that are defenseless or cannot defend themselves against you, I'm here to tell you I can become a very violent motherfucker in a heartbeat. In a heartbeat. Other than that, I'm very calm. I'm very cool. But when you start talking about that shit, yeah, I go all the way sideways. I have, and I'll stand behind that every goddamn day of the week.
Yeah, and a lot of people might want to say that kind of a response is, oh, it's toxic masculinity or it's machismo. No, I say fuck that. The reason why so many of these people like this guy in this video feel so bold is because there aren't enough men like you and I that'll just speak up and say that this is what's going to happen. We need to promote a culture. We need to promote anti-rape culture, period. We need to promote the type of world where if you're thinking about talking about raping somebody or doing something sexual with a minor, that not only are you afraid of the legal consequences, you need to be afraid of the consequences of people that are not involved in law enforcement. You need to be afraid of the consequences of the general public and members within it. And I would say we need to promote that. We need to promote the kind of world that has zero tolerance and more than accountability for these kind of actions. And so violence is an appropriate response in this situation. So
absolutely, yeah. Because if you step to one of my daughters this way, I promise you, bro. I promise I will break you in half. I will break you in half. Please don't ever let me find someone sniffing around one of my daughters on this shit. I will break your ass in half.
Yep.
So Morgan.
Oh, you got to take this guy in.
Why?
He's been harassing the 12-year-old daughter online.
That's how old she is?
Yeah.
You're here to forbid me? Little children? My name is Ask Little Children.
Oh God,
oh my God.
The FBI is involved in it. So please.
The FBI? You know what?
All right, hey, stop talking to him. All right, step down here on the street, get off this property. All right, I'll be with you in a second, sir.
Thank you.
Yeah. All right, so there's your answer. This girl you've been talking to is 12 years old. You're obviously an adult, so that conversation. Hey,
if I'm the dad in this situation, I'm actually sad that the cops got here before he showed up. If I'm the dad in this situation, but I digress.
Forbid them not.
I agree.
She is 12 years old. That is her parent. He will forbid whatever he chooses. Am I clear on that?
12 is very old. I was looking for a 6-year-old.
What? 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 What?
Whatever he chooses. Am I clear on that?
12 is very old. I was looking for a 6-year-old.
Motherfucker. Motherfucker. I swear to fucking God. I swear.
He wasn't even, not only was he not ashamed, he said it proudly. He was proud to say that. That's it's not just you shouldn't think that. It's if you think that, you should be so ashamed to think it that you never. Yeah,
bro, I literally got chill bumps right now. Like, this is a video. I literally want to snap this motherfucker's neck. You just said what?
And like I said earlier, what is there to eat? I don't have words for that. Other than he should die, I don't have words. 12 is very old. He said he was looking for a 6-year-old. So, I
swear to fucking God,
that has to be. This is already. I mean, we're 2:30 minutes. Yeah. We're 2 minutes 30 seconds into this video, and this probably will already. If that's not the most disturbing sentence you've ever heard a person say, it's in the top 5. I don't know what everyone else has heard, but that has to be amongst the most disturbing things, if not the most disturbing thing you have ever heard a person say.
Oh, that's the most fucked up shit I've ever heard come out of a grown man's mouth.
I can't think of a worse thing I've ever heard a person say than that. That is the most perverted thing anyone has ever said that I've heard.
What the fuck?
All right, that's disturbing.
You know what? Holy and profane. I'm holy.
Holy and profane. I'm holy.
It was my church, the Church of I Am Christ.
The Church of I Am Christ. So he's out here representing. If you're a member of the Church of Christ, this is it. Here you go. The Church of I Am Christ. This is who you have out representing your church right now.
I am Christ.
What are you? You need to.
And to say I am Christ, it is. It's a level of deranged. I mean, most Christians wouldn't. They would, like, their jaws would drop at somebody at hearing a person who called themselves a Christian say I am Christ. So, I mean, I guess depending on their philosophy, yeah.
What are you, homeless? You live in the area?
I'm homeless and a truck driver, and I'm.
You know what? I will say, if someone says I am Christ, and as a cop your response is, "What do you mean you're homeless?" I don't say this too often. I like this cop. He said, "I am Christ." He said, "What do you mean you're homeless?"
Which I get the narrative. I get the narrative.
Well, like to be honest, yeah. If somebody's like shouting out a bunch of stuff about Christianity and they seem, I don't know, erratic, yeah, those people tend to be homeless. So.
Okay, do you have a truck around here?
I'm waiting to make some money, man.
Okay, how are you going to make money?
Driving trucks, man.
Okay, do you have a truck down here?
No.
And this doesn't add up. I am a truck driver. That's what I do for a living. I'm trying to make some money, but I don't have a truck. I mean, you almost want to question if he's even lying, considering everything he was just honest about. I mean, you know what I mean? Like, if this man is not lying about the fact that he was looking for a 6-year-old, that leads me to, I don't know.
I'm just gonna say this. So far, I'm not buying. I'm not buying the bullshit. Like this man, I'm not convinced, but I'm becoming more and more convinced that this motherfucker knew exactly what he's doing, and
Yeah.
now he knows he got caught, and he's stuttering, and he's trying to figure out what story to say, what story to tell, and it's scrambled, so it makes him sound as if though like he's not mentally there, right? But I'm not convinced of that. I think he knew exactly what he was doing, and now he got caught, and he's scrambling to try to make sense of it. And we all know when motherfuckers like this get put in that position, in that space, they don't know what to say. They don't know how to deal with it, so they just start spouting shit out, right? And they literally start shitting their pants.
See, I normally, so like with a lot of videos of like the same thing where it's a child predator that traveled to meet a kid, like I like everything that you just said, that is normally the case. I don't even know if he's bullshitting about having been a truck driver or what. I mean, obviously it doesn't add up. He doesn't have a fucking truck.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
You're that doesn't make any sense. And it could be an attempt to look crazy to get away with, the insanity defense, right? Because you can't just say, "Oh, well, I'm insane." That's not going to work.
But I don't even think he's smart enough to even be that forward thinking.
Right.
A courtroom
Definitely.
where I can plead insanity. I don't even think he's intelligent enough to be thinking that far ahead. It's holy shit, I got caught. Now I got to start baking these stories up.
Here's the thing though, is if that's the case, that would imply that he knew he did something wrong. And as I continue to roll the rest of this clip, I think you're going to see that not only from what you've seen so far, he's not even thinking I got caught, because when you think I got caught, you think I got caught doing something I wasn't supposed to. He doesn't even think he's doing something he wasn't supposed to. That's what I'm saying, is that's how deranged he is. I'm going to roll it more.
When I get I'll get some money when I drive some trucks that got a Class A license.
Okay, but if you don't have a truck, how are you going to make some money? All right, what's your first name, love? What's your first name? Headquarters.
My name is As Little Children.
All right, what?
He said, "My name is As Little Children." Just that doesn't make sense as a name. We know it's not your real name, but it doesn't even make sense as a nickname. As Little Children. That's like the second half of a sentence.
What's your first name?
My name is As Little Children.
As Little Children?
That's my full name.
Stop. So your first name is As?
My name is
Stop. So this is where, Wes, what you this is not me talking shit to Wes, but this is where I have or I take issue with these positions when in regards to these situations. Not sure if the guy's still in town or whatnot. Hopefully they got him to a hospital. Here's the thing. I love you, Wes. Here's the thing. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck. This man traveled across country. He traveled across the country.
He was able enough to buy a ticket, stalk this girl for 5 years, go through with the traveling.
He was mentally aware and capable enough to travel from Oregon to Ohio to abuse a minor. I don't give a fuck.
I'm with Oz on that one. And the reality is, if he's mentally ill and his mental illness causes him to do this way, the fact that a mental illness caused him to do this doesn't change the effect that it has on the rest of society. So, like Oz and I, we both have depression and we can talk about mental illness. We never use mental illness as a reason to not be held accountable for our behavior or our actions, because it still has an effect on other people. And that is just one of an important light life rule to recognize your actions have an effect on others.
Absolutely.
And if the reason for your actions is this, that doesn't change the effect that it has on other people. So that's why, because I mean, I wouldn't rule out the possibility that he is mentally ill, but I also am highly considerate of the possibility that he's acting that way.
Yeah, and I also I just want to double down what Crystal said. I don't this level of depravity, and like you went from Oregon to Ohio. I don't give a fuck. Ooh, I swear to God.
Yeah.
I swear, when we're talking about children, because he said it, y'all heard it.
Yeah.
You said 12. 12 is way old. He said, I was here looking for a 6-year. I was here looking for a 6-year-old. Y'all, did you not hear that? Fuck
he didn't imply it. He said it straight up.
Said it
explicitly. So
fuck you. It doesn't matter to me what your mental state is. You literally just said, I was here looking to abuse and take advantage of a 6-year-old. Fuck you. You get every bad thing coming to you.
The whole deal. So
His name is Az.
Okay, is it AZZ?
As in, as become as little children, or you will not enter the kingdom of heaven. As
that's not making any sense whatsoever.
Become as little children, or you will not enter the kingdom of heaven. That's what it is.
Okay,
become as little children, or you will not enter the kingdom of heaven.
So what is your government?
Whatever you think is paying you, whoever you think is.
Oh, see, this is where I don't like the cop, is that the cop gave him this chance by saying, back up. No, dude, he stepped towards you. That was the perfect opportunity to say that you felt threatened and shoot him, or at least tase him. But at least tase him. I mean, we've seen a lot of young black men get shot for doing a lot less than that. So
absolutely,
this guy 100% right there when he stepped forward with his hand like that. At the very least, he should have been tased, and so that I gotta point out.
Is paying you, I can pay you more.
Well, you're not paying me.
I can pay you more.
And just from like a legal perspective, if you're like trying to rack up every charge you can, you could easily call this bribery right here too.
If it's money, that's fine. If it's for diligency,
sir,
I'm here for my woman. And if she does not want me, I will leave right now forever.
Well, the father has said that you are not wanted, so you should leave forever.
Forbidden not. Forbidden not.
Well, that's not your place to say that you're not welcome here. So what is your government name that you were given on your birth certificate or driver's license?
My name is. You want my social security number?
Sure. What's your first name? What's the name given to you by the government?
Timothy.
Timothy. And Timothy, what's the last name given to you by the government?
Nielsen. Nielsen. Forbidden not.
He's just highly educated.
Forsake your sons, forsake your daughters, forsake your wives, forsake children. Do not forsake little children. I'm little children. And if you're an officer of the law, that's it. If you will die for Jesus, if you will die for Jesus, die for Jesus right now. If you want to have me taken in underneath the law, go ahead, because you want to fight.
See, I live by your words. If you would die for Jesus right now. Kill yourself. Just put some bleach in the next thing you plan on drinking and drink it full. Get another cup. Just put more bleach in it. Take your life. If you would die for Jesus, die today. That he needs to take live by his own words right here. Why does he not die, but he tells somebody else? And Christians always do this thing where they assume whoever they're talking to is also a Christian. I don't know. I guess that's just living in a bubble.
That badge right now, go ahead. I am the one Church of Christ who is Muslim and Christian, and we have the living God who has never died.
Okay.
And if you want to be
a living God who's never died is also, Jesus did, something on the cross.
Well, and I also want to throw out there. Let's not because the and I'm not saying that this person is not experiencing any type of mental issues. So I'm not saying that because I'm not a professional. But let's be cool. Let's be cool in that because here's what abusers love to do. And how do I know this? I was abused. Abusers love to create the narrative that they like they're in control but not in control, right? Because
Yeah.
it's like it's I'm sane but I'm crazy at the same time.
They
right?
need
Where-
sympathy. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like I know exactly what I'm doing driving from Oregon to Ohio, right? I know exactly what the fuck I'm doing. But now we're gonna get this like crazy talk shit, right? Where it's Jesus and Jesus and God and God and Jesus and Jesus. Well, did Jesus tell you to drive from Oregon to fucking Ohio?
And this is the problem is according to people who believe in God, any of them could say God told them to do with whatever they're fucking thinking, and none of them could really prove otherwise.
Right. That's the thing. So let's be let's be neutral. Let's be neutral on the mental health claims right now, because I honestly, watching and listening, I don't think this dude is as crazy as some people may think that he is watching it. I think this is I think a lot of this is a show because he knows that he got caught. He knows that he got caught, and now he can start putting on a show, right?
Right.
And we see this time and time and time again from many serial abusers or offers, deleters. Like this is just nothing new to this.
Right. And also, like we all stated earlier, even if he is mentally ill, we don't care. It doesn't make a difference. Still, he still did what he did, so it's still the same. It's still all the same to me. So,
Unfortunate.
Whatever, man. Whatever. Take.
Go ahead.
Your assumption's correct. I'm not with Timothy Nielsen.
Find
Do
it.
you need a
Who will
social?
lose their life for Jesus Christ will find it. Who will lose their life for Jesus Christ will find it. I will lose my life for Christ any day.
Okay.
I bet you
Good.
win before me. I find it. Lose your life for Christ. Let me just walk out of here, man.
Okay. So what again? What's your long-term plan? So we put to bed this whole I'm looking for this girl I met on the internet. It's against the law. You can't have a relationship with a 12-year-old. So the father forbid it. You're not welcome on this property. So what is your long-term goal here, sir?
Right now, I need to go take a shit, man.
Okay. So as
Hold on,
so
hold on,
after
hold on.
that, so where you?
Whoa, stop. So even there, right there. So now, notice. So I watch a lot of Dr. G on YouTube. He is a clinical therapist. He's a human behavioral analyst. Did you just watch his body language
yeah,
when as and like his whole body went into a relax mode when he said, "I just need to take a shit." He's putting on a show right now. Like what we're watching, because as soon as he said, "I need to go take a shit," everything dropped. Like shoulders dropped, everything. His chin went up. Like I'm watching all that shit. Like this is a show. This dude, he's not crazy. He's not crazy. I will agree with Carrie Ann. He's obsessed. Yes, 100%. He's obsessed. But he's a fucking pedo, and he traveled from Oregon to Ohio to take advantage of a young woman.
yeah. But I would say though, there's a limited degree to which I would agree with that he's putting on an act, because I mean, so obviously I know you're not going to disagree with me on this. He's not acting about being a pedophile. That part we know is real, right?
Oh, yeah.
That part we know is real. But it does make sense that he would try to go, okay, even when he was on his knees, just we're talking about his body language. If you looked at his face, he kind of had this look of I'm fucked. And he started acting a little bit more erratic after that. So it is possible that he's just acting up to try to, again, later on try to use the insanity defense. But then, does he seem smart enough to think that far ahead? I don't know. But I do think the guy's a bit I mean, he's not right in the head, but that could mean a lot of different things. But again, I mean, it's not a defense, so it doesn't
No,
matter.
not at all. Yeah, and I couldn't really see his face when he did that, but
Yeah.
I pay more attention to like shoulders, hand movements, arm movements.
Yeah, I do think he was lying when he said he has to take a shit. I do think that was a lie because he wants to get away from this
Yeah,
this police confrontation.
it's a way to get out. It's a way to get out of the situation. Absolutely.
And he actually, a few seconds before he said that, he said, let me just walk out of here, man. And then he said, oh, I have to take a shit.
Yep.
But then watch the way his train of thought goes from there.
You're gonna sleep tonight.
Not in the business. Not in the business, that's for sure.
Okay.
God,
But
right now.
Timothy, listen. So apparently, according to this,
Okay, yeah, and he doesn't even know where he's sleeping. Like when you travel somewhere to see somebody, you figure out where the fuck you're sleeping. Like
that we've been dealing with you in this capacity for a couple of weeks
I
now.
will leave forever if that's what's in her heart that says that I do not want this guy. I will leave forever, and that 5 years has been one girl.
So would you?
So watch this again. Watch this again. So now shoulders went back up, hands came back. He's talking with his hands, and now he's shouting like now. This is all distraction. This is all distraction. He does not want to deal with the fact that he's fucked.
Yeah, but I also think there's no way he thinks that's going to make it better for himself. Getting tensing up and shouting that only gives them disorderly conduct on top of it all.
In his brain, he's thinking that I can wiggle out of this. The more I distract from the actual thing I did, I can get away from it.
You know what? I don't even think that he thinks he did something wrong in the first place to like have this thought of I need to get out of this. Like that's where I mean, he could have the recognition that the cops think it's wrong, but
which is what probably matters to him. He may not think it's wrong, but it's the cops think it's, which means he's going to prison, right? So he's trying to distract from that, whether he thinks it's wrong or not. It's the interpretation of the
but it also it seems like he's expecting, as he talks to the cops, like he doesn't seem to be worried about. Then I guess this is where I'm on the fence. He doesn't seem to be worried about getting arrested. There are some moments where I'm thinking he might kind of be thinking I'm fucking being worried about getting arrested, but then also, no, a part of me feels like he not only doesn't think he's wrong, like he doesn't think society thinks of him as wrong. Like, I don't know. I don't know everything he thinks, but yeah, I don't know. He does get more erratic. I won't give much more of a spoiler, but I'll say that much.
All right, let's go.
So would you agree with me that at 12 years old, she's not?
I do not agree.
Okay. So, well, I'm telling you that you're not to have any type of relationship.
Okay, as little children, right? She's going to be old one day and die.
So?
Because I will live forever. And I will kill myself. I will kill myself.
Okay. So are you making threats to harm yourself?
No, I'm not.
Are you sure? Because you just said I'll kill myself.
Without her, I will die one day.
Well, we're all going to die one day.
Right. And I hope my day is soon.
He said that right after he said I'll live forever.
Okay. Why is that?
I'll be diligent with you, sir.
Okay, I appreciate that. But so why do you think I mean, we're all going to die one day, but I mean, you understand she's 12, but I understand from you that doesn't make a difference.
But you don't understand God. With men, things aren't possible. With God, all things are possible.
And see, right there, that's where we get to the religious aspect of this is, well, you don't understand God. Is that people who believe in God feel like they understand God, so they feel they're justified, and you just don't understand it. That to me, and that's not even just religion, that's just theism in general, is that believing in God leads people to believe that they have some understanding of what the creator of morality itself thinks that like they have this understanding that other people don't have. Yeah, pragmatic, right? Personal God. And to a degree, I think every theist kind of just, I to an extent think that everyone who believes in God believes in a different God. Every individual conjures up a different version of God in their head and believes in it uniquely. They all think they're praying to the same God, but really they all have some different idea of what God is. There's just overlap in the attributes.
All things.
I understand that. I mean, that's what they say.
And I want to know what's in her heart. Her heart.
Okay. So at 12 years old, if she says, yes, I'm in love with this.
Don't give me all that stuff, man. I've been with one girl all these years.
I'm trying to understand where you're coming from.
Or gone whoring around with other girls. I've been with one girl this whole year.
Okay. And where's that girl at?
2 girls.
Okay.
All these years. Okay. All these years. I tried to build this church. One church is all that's left. It's because God has never died. He's always living. He's a living God, and he has never died. He escaped that death. When he came back and he was like crying, he said, "What you guys doing all sleeping? Let's go." That's God for you. And he drives the biggest ship around here. And they're going to be on the mast for me. Back mast, front mast. My 2 girls.
Okay, so who do you think lives here?
I don't know, man. I'm in a nightmare, man. I've been 5 years here, man. 5 years on the same girls. And I don't do other girls, man.
So you know these 2 girls' names, but
I've been putting in nobody in danger.
So who do you think live?
And I'm putting nobody in danger.
But you've never. But so how do you?
From the internet. I will never harm anybody. I'm putting nobody in danger.
Okay.
I could maybe just take a date with no sex. I'm not looking for sex. Maybe just a date for coffee or something, man. Just to meet her on the phone.
Do you think 12-year-olds drink coffee?
I'll buy her dinner, dude. I don't care. I'm not looking for sex.
So his defense is going to be that he's not trying to have sex with her while she's a child, that he's trying to groom her from starting now while she's a child, but he wants to wait till she's an adult. I don't believe that that's the case, but that's what his defense is. So you have to understand, in his mind, I'm grooming a child is like, no, you have a misunderstanding. Here's what I'm actually doing. And that's, yeah, he wants a date, maybe just coffee or something. I don't know, maybe dinner. We know he has further plans than that. But even if what he said was true, which I know it's not, it's still fucking sick. I mean, even if you fuck someone or you date someone who's 18, 21, like if you've known them since they were 12, 6, you're still fucking sick. The fact that you waited doesn't mean you're not sick. You're sick.
Roll tape.
Yeah.
All right. So they do have a. So he keeps talking about. They have a daughter. Her best friend. Parma Heights. So apparently they had like a YouTube channel like 5 years ago, but he somehow started stalking them. So he ventured out from Oregon, and now he knows where he is. Like in my conversation with him, like he's leaving with this 12-year-old. Like nobody's going to tell him no. He doesn't care about the law. Under God, no one shall forbid. Blah blah blah. Like these folks are scared to death.
I'm trying to figure out myself. But he said 5 years. They haven't posted in a while, and I'm like, how do you know they live here? He's like, I love their channel. Once I started watching their channel, I didn't know so much shit. I was like, but how do you find out they live here?
Yeah, that is still the hole that I'm wondering. Like you had to have seen a license plate in the background or an address. Like you have to be a fucking stalker to be able to see like the background of somebody's video and then be able to track down their general location based on that.
He goes, well, I don't want to say, but it wasn't hard. And it sounds like they're kids.
They're 12 years old. Well, 13. Yeah.
Yeah, and he said that's some internet channel, and they haven't posted in a little while, and he's trying to start a church, and they're like, he wants a date. He's down here on his hands and knees begging God for a date.
Oh, watch this camera.
Yeah,
like
so-
I thought we were throwing down for a second. I mean, so he got really animated up in the church. He kept saying his name was as the children, and kept referencing God in the church. So unfortunately, this guy confirmed that this is the right house because he came out, and as he talked to the guy here in the drive, he goes, "Are you from Oregon?" Yeah. He goes, "This is the guy, my daughter." I'm like, oh.
Is he from Portland? He said he's from Portland.
I don't know.
ID.
So I just, like I said, I haven't run the ID. Terry said that it's probably this guy.
Last week we've been dealing with him. But he said he came from Portland. So I'm like, where are you staying? He goes, well, I was downtown Cleveland, but Portland's way nicer than Portland.
I mean, so he's homeless. I mean, these parents, like, I guess he found out mom's cell phone. I guess he called mom's cell phone a couple weeks ago, and like now he knows where they live. And so like they're petrified.
So there's no way the mom is on the internet in some capacity. This guy's after the mom. Is he?
No, it's definitely the kids.
Okay.
It's definitely the kids. Yeah, I'm fearful for this little girl's safety. Apparently, the FBI got involved like 5 years ago, and like apparently this agent. And I mean, I don't have all the details about it. We just talked briefly, but apparently, all the they were involved. Said it's a mental situation.
Why is he
but
not? Why is this motherfucker not sitting in the back of a cop car right now?
That's what I want to know because showed up with intent to meet a minor.
Why is he not just like why did we just waste 11 minutes? Why is this motherfucker not in the back of a goddamn cop car?
And you know what? I've seen there was another body cam footage that I saw. This guy showed up at a school, claimed a child was his. Child was not his. So clearly he's trying to kidnap this little girl. He did not have children. He later revealed to the cops he didn't have any kids. So he was just a grown man in like his 30s or so at a Catholic middle school. Yeah, you show up at a middle school as a guy in your 30s without a kid. Yeah, that's pretty fucking concerning. But the cops, I was watching this and they were like, all right, well, we don't have enough to detain him yet. And I'm like, and dude, the father is like losing his mind. He's like, he's in the act.
Hold on, is this please don't tell me this is the same motherfucker, because I think I'm familiar where he goes in they're having like this like community school day carnival type thing, and that's the same mother.
No, and this isn't the same one.
Oh my God,
this video.
Dude, I was about to lose my shit.
What they have in common though is this aspect of why is he not in handcuffs, or why is he not in the back of a cop car already?
Right.
Like he's already admit that he showed up to the school with the like he should already be there. And yeah, then the guy just kept talking and talking, and luckily he didn't know better than to fucking keep talking. And he that guy with the school situation, you know what? He wasn't even under arrest, but they took him in for questioning, which I guess he didn't even know he could have declined. But then he was sitting in the room for questioning. Again, wasn't under arrest, could have left. Cop enters the room to question him. That guy tried to stab the cop and killed him. All right, now you've got an attempted murder on a cop on your hands. So, like that guy, here's what I'll say. Some people, I'm glad they're stupid, because if you're a bad person and you're intelligent, you're capable of some very, very dark things. Some people are really bad people, but they're too stupid to carry out whatever their desires are.
Bro,
Yeah.
Listen, Linda, if you ever come at either of my daughters and you come to the driveway, I'm not calling the boys. I got my own boys, and they got digits behind their name. If you're picking up what I'm throwing down, they got digits behind their names. I'm like, fuck that. I'm not worried. Fuck the police. That's how I treat them.
Yeah.
But the FBI guy's like, he basically told the family, he goes, he lives in Oregon. I wouldn't worry too much about it. And here he is on their front porch now. All right, Mr. Nielsen, I told you I would do you one favor. I did speak with the 12-year-old, and I know while you said that you don't care if they're 6 years old, 12 years old, it's what you feel in your heart. She wants nothing to do with you.
Do you believe it came from her?
I talked to her. I talked to her specifically.
Do you believe it came from her? She wasn't under distress at all?
Well, no, she's not under duress.
How do you know?
So here's where I have to, I'm just scratching my head and I'm just going, what the fuck? why did the cops go ask the girl? Like, why does the girl get at
Right.
what?
Oh my God.
This is where you got to go. Okay, I thought society was better than whatever the fuck it is. That the cops went and asked, and now they confirmed that she doesn't want a relationship with him. What? So
Why-
what if she? So what if she did?
Why?
She's 12. She's 12.
Why are we going to the 12-year-old and saying, hey, there's a pedo out here that would love to meet you. Would you like to meet him? What the fuck is happening?
That part to me is insane. Is absolutely insane. And and then that makes me wonder, what if the 12-year-old told the cops she was interested? What would have went from there? I mean, I don't think the cops response would have been, okay, we'll back off. They obviously talked to the parent. They already know this guy traveled this far. But what? Loss of words. That's it. Why would they ask her? And then notice how you'll see this. First, he said, I mean, if she says no, I'll leave. Okay, she says no. How do you know she wasn't under distress? Immediately goes to the next. This is desperation. Anything he can come up with.
And I want to say, I'll point this out. This is how we know this man is not deranged. He knows exactly what the fuck he's doing, because that response was so quick. It was so quick. He's not. He may appear to be, and he may put on the best acting job ever, but that was such a quick response.
Yeah, no, he knows he knows what he's doing.
He knows exactly what the fuck he's doing.
Is that? Then here's another weird thing I noticed. Maybe this is the adrenaline. Is he said distress the first time, then the cop says she isn't under duress, so he accidentally said duress instead of distress. This guy then started saying duress instead of distress. He said the first word and then heard the cop say the wrong word and then just copied the word the cop was saying.
Right.
Like, I don't know. It does not that it really matters, but it's something that I noted.
That was in the house.
How do you know she's not under duress right now?
Okay.
How do you know she's not under duress? Huh?
Put your hands on your back. Put your hands on your back. We're not gonna have you acting up like this.
God, it took you that fucking long?
Yeah, this part is long overdue.
It took you that fucking long?
That's erratic?
Step this way. It doesn't matter. Yours is probably easier to get into.
I've done nothing. I have done nothing.
Nielsen was arrested and transported to the Medina County Jail. He was charged with 2 counts of menacing by stalking and 1 count of importuning. On December 22nd, 2022, he was sentenced to 4.5 years in prison, followed by 5 years of post-release control. He will also be required to register as a Tier 1 sex offender. Thank you for watching. Let me know what you think about this incident down in the...
So he ends up with a sentence of 4.5 years in prison. And I think what we need to note is that most of the time, people don't do their full sentence. So like if you're sentenced to 10 years, you'll likely serve something like 8. And that's on like regular behavior. You may very well, good behavior, do like 6.5 if you're sentenced to something like 10 years, right? So he's probably going to be in prison. If he doesn't get killed in prison, which every prison is different. This is the thing is sometimes pedophiles end up in general population. Yeah. And then when that happens, they're definitely fucked the second somebody gets wind of who they are. But actually most of the people that I know that have been to prison, they actually will tell you that chomos are some of the most protected people in prison because the prison staff knows how targeted they are. So normally you have general population and then you have what's called a special needs yard. Special needs doesn't mean, what it means in the real world, which is like, disability. Special needs yards in prisons are for people who are either high profile or given the nature of their crime, like if they're a sex offender, especially a child predator, then they're the ones that are most likely to be fucked up, right? So they're going to be put in those special needs yards. And those people, because some people go to prison thinking what I think I would want to do if I could find one in general population, if I ended up in a prison, find a chomo, beat him up, extort him for money. Now you have solid income. Perfect. But most of the time you think you're going to do that and you can't even get to them because of the fact that they're so protected. So I want to follow up on this guy. I mean, it's been 2 years already since. So I want to find out, if this guy ends up getting stabbed in prison, and I could do an update, and we'll do a celebration on it, and if he's released, maybe we could just dox the address of the prison he's getting released from and the date he gets released.
Go beat that ass.
Yeah, or provide information. We won't know anything about what happens because we won't be there. And I was recorded saying that we won't be there.
We will not be there. Someone else will be there to do that thing.
Someone else will be there.
Someone else
But
will be there to do that goddamn fucking thing that should happen.
You know what? This kind of information could likely be found. We know his name's Timothy Nielsen. I'm gonna do a quick Google search real quick, actually, now that you mention it.
Timothy Nielsen's in prison.
Timothy Nielsen inmate record.
He likes little children and likes to fuck with them.
Part of the problem is that's the type of name that you could expect a lot of people to have. So, okay, let's see. I found an article that's definitely about him, and I see his mugshot. I'll just share my screen on the first. This is what I just found. Let's see. All right, you guys can watch this with me. So, see, because sometimes the reason it's good as a cop to not arrest someone immediately is you let them further incriminate themselves. Because it's like, first you show up and all you know is he traveled this far to see her, but you let him keep talking and then he starts saying more shit. It's more incriminating. So that makes sense. There's also just with how much he acted up and how aggressive he was. Like that he wasn't shot or tased in the beginning is an injustice. Let's see. Medina County prosecutor. So we're looking at Medina County. So hold on. We don't know where I want to see the name of the.
Well, while you're doing it, let's while you're looking at if I just does 43 years old. Hold up, talking about no, 12 is way too old. I'm here looking for a 6-year-old. 43. He's older than me. He's fucking older than me. I pulled up. No, 12 years old is way too old. I was looking for a 6-year-old. Look, I'd be facing life in prison right now. I would have never called the cops. I would have never called the goddamn motherfucking cops. I'd be facing life in prison right now.
100%.
It would have been dunzos, bro. It would have been dunzos. You're going night forever. You're going night forever.
Yeah. And what I will say for now, for those interested in the information, is that we know the court was Medina County. So Medina County, Ohio. So I don't see which. Oh, let's see all right. I'm just. Yeah, I'm just not seeing which prison he's in, but I may very well find that information and then just post it in a comment after the stream. It's never too late to just put something in a comment if you don't get it on a live stream, because and if I ended up in a court case because it's like, hey, somebody attacked this child molester that you gave the address of the prison and the release, that like I could take that court case. And if I got a service sentence, I got a service sentence. I don't think I'd serve a sentence though. I think there'd be a decent lawyer could get you out of that, you know. Because here's the reality is it's public record information, the arrest, all of it, you know. So I don't know what a legal definition of doxing is, but I'm pretty sure if something is public information,
That's
that
not doxing.
yeah, raising awareness of public information, it doesn't fit a legal definition of doxing. So
Nope.
um
Nope.
yeah. And that's just what it is. Now, he says something about the other girls, right? And I see this comment. As soon as he said I was with one girl, the cop should have said, how old was she? He said something, where was she? But he should have said, oh, how old was she? Because then if that guy said 10 or whatever, they would have already had more, I don't know, more to go off of. But he said pled not guilty, which,
Well,
yeah, of course. And I mean, fourth degree felony. See, here's the thing about prison sentences is if you did something very mild, then yeah, like 4 years is a long time to be in prison. But certain things that people do, I end up being shocked at how light the sentence is. Like with Justin Downing. It was a 14-year sentence. And then as we talked about, people normally don't do the full sentence. So he may be out in 9 years, 10 years. So they're just you look at the little things people have done that have gotten them life in prison.
Bro, I know people with drug, and I'm sure you do too. I know people with drug charges that are serving longer sentences than bullshit, right? I literally know people right now serving longer drug sentences than is serving. That's bullshit. That's bullshit.
No, one of my family members was in prison for 2 years. It was two or 2.5 years. Or no, she was sentenced to 2.5. I think she did like 1.5 years. Yeah. And her charges were drug charges, and she was selling stolen police property. It was like not guns, but it was like a gun vest or something. Yeah. And so I'm not defending the actions, whatever. I don't think a drug charge should lead to that fucking. Well, I don't think prison's the appropriate response to drug. That's a whole other topic. But even assuming that it was right, I mean, you have selling stolen property or selling stolen police property, right, and then having drugs. She got half the sentence this guy got. I mean that's not half as bad. Possession of heroin and selling police equipment. That is definitely nowhere near whatever the level of immorality of Timothy Nielsen is. There's no way if he's a 10 that what my family member did is a 5. Like that doesn't work.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Whether it's your example or the one I'm talking about, where it was a repeat offender, right? But even that, it's drugs. It is. You could say we could have whatever opinion on drugs. That does not even approach the level of offense that we're talking about in this shit tonight. Why
there are people that have got life sentences because of the amount of weed they sold.
Right?
Okay?
That's what I'm saying, bro. That's what I'm saying. That's bullshit. Like, but we get fucking fuck sticks like this that we're talking about tonight that they'll get off with like a 10-year, 15-year bit, right? But we know motherfuckers that are sitting in prison on fucking drug charges. That's fucking insane, bro.
That is insane. There's no way around it. And you know, people get political about it. I think if you look at at politics, and the reason I think it's relevant is because there are different laws that different politicians advocate for that protect or don't protect pedophiles. I think both of the all we have is two political parties in this country. Both of them in different ways actually kind of protect them. You could argue over who protects them more. It does seem to be a more Republican thing for somebody to defend the right of an adult to marry a child, right? That's a religious Republican stance normally. Every time you see a law that tries to forbid adults from marrying minors, it's normally Republicans that are opposed to that. Democrats, on the other hand, they tend to fight for like lighter sentences for them. So like there was a law in California, SB. I know it started with SB. I don't remember the law, but there was a law in California that required, the way that it worked was that if you were a heterosexual pedophile, you didn't have to register under the sex offender registry if the age gap was less than 10 years. So like let's say you were 25 and she was 16, right? But it was the case that if it was a same-sex victim, that you would have to be on the registry. Now, I think you should have to be on the registry one way or the other,
regardless.
But what the Democrats in California did, and I'm no fucking Republican, I'm calling out both parties here. I called out the Republicans, now I'm on the Democrats.
Right.
Is what the Democrats did is, instead of saying make the heterosexual pedophiles register too, they argued, since the same-sex pedophiles, since the straight pedophiles don't have to register, the same-sex ones shouldn't either. So if you look it up now, if there's less than a 10-year age gap and you're in California and you commit one of these crimes, you get charged, but you're not required to register as a sex offender. So people who are literally predators of children, he was 22, she was 13. If that's the case, they don't have to be on a registry. And so you do have, if you look at different policies, there are policies put forth by each party that in different ways protect them.
Well, because and this is what we're finding out. This is what we're finding out. I'm gonna say this. Part of this is facetious, and I'm 100% applying part of this as satire. So I want to make sure I'm very clear when I say that. But Cat Williams opened up the year in January, and he said 2024 is going to be the year where this kind of shit is going to get exposed. Guess what keeps happening? And I'm not saying, because Cat Williams, and I don't want to get into that, because he also said that like the Illuminati and all that shit's real too. So I do not align with that. But all of a sudden in 2024, look at how much of this shit is getting exposed. Look and pay attention to how many people, the elite, right? The elite are being exposed for this dumb shit, right? And I think they're God, because they're the ones that worship a God, right? Think they're God, that these things are being exposed, and that now people are finally have the confidence and the courage to speak out, because more and more people are talking about it, are speaking out about it, and that's the best deterrent, right? Is when the abusers know that, guess what, those that you abuse are no longer scared of talking about you and sharing the story. That's when shit starts to change, right? Because now there's accountability. Now you're accountable. Now you, motherfucker, are accountable for the shit that you either did or tried to do, right? Now you're accountable. And I think we are finally approaching, or at least on the uptick, right there, where the abused can finally say, no, I've been abused, and the abusers have to say, God damn it, I'm fucked.
Yeah. And I want to answer this. Also, why do you have to register as a sex offender? I've never heard of anyone have to register to go to prison. You get sentenced and put in. So the registry is a separate thing from their sentencing in prison. So going to prison, yeah, they don't have to register to go to prison, right? But it's up to them, and it shouldn't be up to them. It should be done automatically. But the inmates are responsible for registering. But the one good thing about them having that obligation is that if they don't do it, failure to do so is then a crime, and then they can be prosecuted for that as well. So failure to register when the judge obligates them to do so is a crime. But I do think it's a weird thing that the court doesn't just go and put them on the registry. That like that the task of doing it is put in their own hands. That is very fucking bizarre, to say the least. That is very fucking.
I agree
weird.
with that. I agree.
And you know, and the whole thing with like you know, yeah, we see this a lot of people are getting exposed as being pedophiles, but you know what? A lot of people have displayed very openly predatory behavior on stages and on camera, and because they're celebrities, there is this expectation that they're going to get away with it. And the reason is because a lot of people do just let them get away with it because they're rich and famous. There are
Absolutely.
a lot of fathers in this world that if they have let's say a 14-year-old daughter, right? If their 14-year-old daughter brought home some fucking 25-year-old guy, they would absolutely beat the shit out of that 25-year-old guy. They know he's a predator, but if it's a really successful, good-looking guy, you know, he has a good career, has a lot of money, you'd be surprised how many of those same parents all of a sudden they're just looking at things through a different lens now.
Oh, bro, have you seen? I don't even want to go. I know it's getting late. So I won't even say have you seen. I'll just tell you. You can do the research. Everyone else listening, you can do your own research. Don't take my word for it. Be a good skeptic and go do your own research. There's video now out of Drake, and I'm not trying to take it back to the beef. It's just because it aligns with the conversation. Drake is on stage in a concert, and at that point, I think they said he was 26 years old, something like that.
And the girl said before he did it that she was 17. She said she was 17, and then what did he do?
And then he kept harassing her. And then all of a sudden it just gets, you know, let's just brush it under the rug. Let's pretend this never happened. Why? Because it's at that point it was Drake, and at that point he's like creating all of this money, all these albums, all these singles, all these hits, and guess what else is that happened with Diddy? That happened with R. Kelly. That has happened over and over and over again. So let's not pretend that these things haven't been happening for years and years.
Yeah. And you know what? I just pulled this clip up right now. So I want to point out that when it comes to predators, even not even just child predators, but them too, but sexual predators. We have this idea of a sexual predator, and it's like this old creepy white guy with a mustache, and he's probably a bit fat, right? And like the reality is that predators come in every size, shape, color, style. You know what I mean? So
Bill Cosby,
someone who is a 21, 22-year-old, charming, highly educated individual is no less capable of being a predator than, or actually is more capable of being a predator than some old creep. Because if you're some old creep, if you fit the description of what people assume a predator looks like, then let's say you walk near children, people are kind of keeping an eye on you. They're kind of paying attention to your behavior, right? But if they see you as this charismatic, charming young man, right, keyword man, you're a grown-ass man, then that same behavior is less likely to be seen as creepy. Furthermore, and I'm gonna talk, because people talk about male privilege. I'm gonna talk about female privilege. If you are a female predator, it is very, very rare that anybody holds you accountable for your behavior. If even if you're a child predator, and there are always people to defend it, especially again if you're attractive. So on the one hand, we have, and this is true for men too, if you're seen as attractive, especially attractive and successful, then people are less considerate of your predatory behavior as predatory. And yeah, then obviously, if you're a woman, you're also just a lot more likely to get away with this sort of thing than men are. And I'm going to show you a clip that kind of proves what I'm talking about here. Okay. So this is that's where I searched to find it. I want to show you guys this clip.
The American Music Award goes to
So he's just winning an award, right? Watch this.
Is this the one I think it is?
Okay, this was not a kiss on the cheek. This was not a. So if you see, she's already trying to go for it. Doesn't get a good angle on that side of him. Goes to the other side. Look at the way her arm is. Look at his face already, dude. This is a child. He was.
I remember this.
Yeah. Now, this lady, like 2 or 3 months ago, she was in an interview on one of those late night shows, The Tonight Show, or one of those late night shows. Nothing happened in her career. Okay. She did this.
Wow. I feel violated right now.
He said that.
He said it.
Now, and this is where I got to bring the gender part up is, okay, yeah, if a man did that to a young girl and the young girl said what he just said, I think people would recognize the fact, at the very least, recognize the fact that that was a predatory move. That was a predator.
So let's break this down. So do you remember what Kanye did to Taylor Swift, where he didn't even touch her? He came up, he jumped on stage. It was like, hold on. I'll let Taylor talk. I just want to say that Beyonce deserved to have the album of the year. He literally never touched her. Not a goddamn thing happened physically. He just jumped on stage. It was like Beyonce deserved to have the album of the year. Dude, the entire world shit on him. The entire world shit on him for interrupting that. But then this shit happens. And it's like, no, you get a pass. You're good.
Yeah. Oh no. And then I want to remember what her name was, because she was interviewed about it, and she literally said the words. She was like, I saw the opportunity and I molested him. She said, I molested him. She said that. So not only is there video evidence of her doing what she just did, she also admit on camera that she molested him. So admit that she knows that that's what she did. And in her mind, she was asked, were you planning on it before you did it? And she goes, oh no, that would be creepy. In her mind, what would make it creepy was if it was premeditated. The fact that she did it spontaneously negates
Shane, that makes it okay. You didn't know that?
For real. That is literally what you think. And so
fuck out of here.
And so that is kind of the difference between like male and female predators and I'm speaking generally, but very, very generally here, is male predators at least know that they're predators, so they know to hide. Even if they're not ashamed, they know it's not acceptable by other people, right? But yeah, like if you're young woman or a woman, a fairly attractive woman, even if you're in your 30s, 40s, if you're an attractive woman and you do some shit like if a woman, like I think this is the case for most women her age doing this to most boys his age, boys younger than him. You go up and you do that. You know what people will say? They'll say, lucky kid. You hear that a lot, lucky kid. And so,
well, yes, it was Jennifer McCarthy, Jenny McCarthy,
Jenna McCarthy,
and that is the right. That is the idea or the vibe. Where it's like, whoa, that's a lucky motherfucker, right? And there may be some that would agree with that, but there's others. Obviously, Justin was not okay with it. Justin said, "I'm uncomfortable right now. I feel like I was just taking advantage." Like he said that, right? So it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what you think. It's the one that's being taken advantage of or being humiliated. It's what they how they feel, and obviously he was not cool with it. He was not cool with it.
yeah. I'm gonna see. Oh, my bad.
For albums. So I've been so incredibly blessed that every album I've ever done, I've only done 4, has won that category. But I've won a few more in my day for other things. So
No, here we go.
before.
Okay, yeah, I definitely don't want to listen to a bunch of fucking celebrities get interviewed. Those fucking egomaniacs talking about themselves. The opposite of music to my ears.
Enjoying the night so far.
Great. I just got to neck Justin Bieber and grab his butt.
I saw that you like.
See, this is what I'm saying is that she fully is like, this is like society. Enough of society finds that acceptable that like people aren't even thinking of her as a predator. You see what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
like because obviously I'm not saying that girls don't go through this. I'm not saying men don't do this to girls. They do. But a man with her same desire would know that if he did that, there would be consequences to his actions. She expected there not to be, and there weren't. There was nothing has happened to this woman.
Exactly. And that's the thing, bro. And you're hitting the nail on the head. That's where it doesn't matter what your name is. It doesn't matter what your name is. If you don't have consent, you don't get to wrap your hands around my neck. It doesn't matter what your name is. You don't get to do those things, right? And that's where all of the same things apply both ways.
That this isn't a man versus woman problem. This aspect of it is like the fact that she could do something that bold and brazen on a stage while it was being broadcasted on live television and there not being any consequences is an example of female privilege. Like, I'm not denying male privilege exists, but I am demanding that other people acknowledge that female privilege exists. Like, you don't have, like, two things can be true here, you guys. Two things can be true here. This is a fucking privilege. It's not a privilege I'm saying that men should have too. It's a privilege I'm saying men or women should neither have. And so, yeah, but like I said, it's not just about gender. So there's the gender aspect of it. There's also the attractive aspect of it, because even an attractive man, like I said earlier, will get away with a lot more behavior than an unattractive man. So let's say if it was something, let's say it wasn't as much as kissing, but it was like caressing, which, you know, like caressing the hair of a child is like a normal thing if you know the child and that's like your son or your niece or nephew or something. But I'm talking about a stranger, just a stranger child. Just you see a kid you don't know, if you were to just rub that child's hair, right? Like, if as a man you did that, people would recognize like that's fucking creepy. Or you know what, that's the kind of behavior that I think maybe an attractive enough man could get away with. People might just think, oh, he's so sweet, he's such a good guy. as to where if he was like a short, fat, bald guy with a mustache, then all of a sudden you recognize it for what it is, what it should be viewed as. So yeah, but I do want to play a little bit more of just this interview. And just like, I don't know, another 30 seconds or a minute of it.
Like totally, like it was like a full on almost makeout session.
It was a little cougar scary.
Yeah.
But I took the opportunity in the window, considering I'll never get to do it again, and kind of molested him.
Well, we hear that he may be back on the market now, and
then the person that she just said that to also didn't react with disgust. Like this just yeah, no, it's just this the kind of thing where I'm saying this is fucking and just it's just because we're on the topic of child predators and how people respond to them. I do want to keep relevant, as we did throughout the stream, that when people are religious, not only do they feel more justified in their actions, but if you're in a community that's religious, if it's a religious community and a member within that community doing something predatory to a child within that community, even the child's own parents might fail to see something like this as predatory, as what it is. You know what I mean?
Well, I think if you're in a community, even if a religion isn't involved, if you're in a community where this behavior is allowed and it's permissible, religion or not, you still think it's okay. You're still indoctrinated, right? You're still indoctrinated to think that this type of abuse is okay with or without religion. Because like what we've been seeing and what we've been listening to is that both sides are disgusting, right? And like with the Bieber shit, and whether we're gonna talk about Diddy and Drake and all the other shit, like you can be indoctrinated into something without religion being involved in it, still be disgusting.
Yeah. Oh, exactly. So it's always disgusting. It's just that provided level of protection from their community. That, I think, is what religion increases, is their ability to feel justified in their actions and their ability to have the benefit of the doubt by those in their community. You know what I mean? Because and this is part of the problem with priests is, if you're Catholic, a priest is like one of the best examples of a person that like people could be. So it's like, all right, do you feel safe with this guy? Oh, he's a priest. Like that tells you, oh, he's a priest. He wouldn't do anything wrong. But because of the fact that people have that notion of, oh, he's holy, he's a man of God, and that causes them to just trust people, that gives predators something to take advantage of. That gives predators something to prey on. That's an attribute that you shouldn't have, to think that, oh, this guy believes there's a man in the sky and worships it. Yeah, my kids are safe with him. So,
yep. And really, maybe I can help chime in here. It's not about the beautiful. It's not about the beautiful getting away with it. What Shane was bringing up, and I align with, is that, like, when we were talking about Jenny McCarthy and doing that, is so Jenny McCarthy was able to do that live on stage during an awards ceremony, and there was no pushback, there was no questioning of her intent or what she wanted to do. But let's say let's not use someone that's right in the middle of a scandal right now. Let's say Post Malone. Let's say Post Malone got on stage and literally put Taylor Swift in a chokehold and started kissing her neck, and then when she moved around, he then began to kiss the other side of her neck. There would have been a lot of backlash. And
Absolutely.
that would have fucked up his career. That would have, like, his career would be shit after
And
that.
and
But
let's see what happens with this clip of Drake going viral does. You
right.
know, because now it's gone viral. I guess it wasn't viral before. I mean, I will say though, I do think the beautiful aspect of it. I think there's the gender aspect is stronger, but I think there's also the attractive aspect because, like I said, when people see you as attractive, people don't think of a predator as someone who's attractive. They think of a predator as looking a certain way. So it's just that they're less likely to consider, oh, is this predatory behavior, right? So because if that was yeah, I don't know. I want to see what ends up happening with this whole Drake thing because but I mean Drake texting Millie Bobby Brown and she was a
14.
I thought 14. I'd read 12 somewhere. I think 14 is that's the answer I think is accurate is when he started texting her. Either way, is and he's like, "Oh, I'm helping her with boys." I'm like, "Okay, so here's the thing, is how old was he at that time?" I wanna say
32? 32, I think.
2? Okay. Oh, already older than me. Um, if I feel like it I mean, I don't even think I'm, like, super unattractive, but I think if I was at work and, I work at a grocery store. Some of the girls I wouldn't say I work with because I work overnight, but, like, some of the cashiers, they're, like, 16, right? Um, if I had got a 16-year-old girl at work, if I like got her number and my coworkers caught wind of it, and I was like, "Oh, I'm helping her with boys," I feel like people would recognize that that's
Why?
okay. That's like because a 26-year-old doesn't want to talk to a 14 or a 16-year-old. If somebody's
It
14, 16, like if when you're in your 20s and you're around teenagers, the only thing you should be thinking is when the fuck are they going to shut up? When do I get to leave? That is the only normal thing to think around a teenager. Not literally, but you know what I mean. Like that you don't want to be around teens in your 20s. They're annoying. And they're supposed to be annoying. It's what they are, but you don't have a lot in common. They're less developed than you. They can't hold conversations at the same level that you as you. Shit, I was sick of teenagers when I was a teenager. Like yeah, it's not right. So with the whole, I don't know, with the whole Drake thing, I wouldn't be surprised if he tries to do some. Oh, I've been reformed. If I've found God, I wouldn't be surprised if he goes that route to defend himself. Because a lot of people, if they do something shameful and the public is looking at them, they can go, okay, well, you know what? I found Christ conveniently right after everybody started looking at me as a bad person. I found Christ. They understand that to a lot of Christians, the whole point of Christianity is that no sin is too far that you can't be forgiven. So I wouldn't be surprised to see Drake or any of them just cater to Christians by doing that.
which I'll just point out side point. Kendrick Kung Fu, the boogeyman, already called him out on that shit. He was like,
Yeah.
I already know you're gonna lie about your religious shit. He already called him out.
Yeah.
Hey, that's why he's the boogeyman. He already said,
Yeah.
I already know you're gonna lie about this religious shit.
Yeah, and you know, with the texting Millie Bobby Brown thing, I remember thinking about that before this beef with Kendrick. I remember thinking like, if Drake was like overweight and ugly as fuck, people would definitely not be defending what he's doing. But there was very little criticism, and what criticism there was pushback from his fan base. But the 17-year-old on stage thing, I first of all, I don't even fucking know Drake fans. Everybody I know a Kendrick fan, but I don't even fucking know. I know people that are like, oh, he's got club bangers. Of course, like everybody, a lot of people feel that way, right? But I don't know anybody that like listens to Drake. You know what I mean? Like he like would call themselves a fan of him. But I'm interested to see. I'm interested to see um what happens because yeah, I will say I never fucked with Drake's music to begin with, and I fucked with Kendrick from the the first time I heard him. So watching Kendrick's dismantling of Drake's career and public image has been a feast for me. I have been loving it, and I only hope it continues. And I said this in a live chat on your stream. Drake's the type. I'm not saying I'm convinced this is the case. Drake's the type to get his own house shot up to try to distract from this beef. Drake could have heard "Not Like Us" and gone, "All right, I need a week." Staged his house getting shot up, distract from the whole thing. I don't know that that's the case. There are so many explanations because, I mean, anyone that knows where his mansion is definitely could have thought, okay, this guy's a fucking pedophile and we know where he lives. That's reason enough to get shot. So anybody could have shot at him. But I'm just saying Drake's the type to have had that thing staged, a cheddar bob ass motherfucker.
Oh yeah, Drake would have had it staged, but I'll put my next paycheck on it. Kung Fu Kenny had nothing to do with it. I'll put my next paycheck on it. Kung Fu Kenny had nothing to do with that shit.
But you know what? I want to talk about because we were talking about celebrities getting away with shit, right? And them all getting caught out, right? Well, I was listening to a song by E40 recently, and I listened to this song quite a bit when I was a kid, when I was like, I was a teenager. And the song is called Sideways. Have you ever heard Sideways by E40?
It's been a minute, but I'm familiar. It's been a minute.
Okay. So it's been a minute, but you're familiar. Do you remember any creepy ass line that he said? Because I listened to this song a lot as a teenager, and it just slipped right past me till I listened to it again recently, and I thought, what the fuck?
I was about to say, I probably feel the same way because now I re-listen to shit in hip hop, and I'm like, oh, now I see how disgusting you motherfuckers are.
Sometimes you're like, how did I listen to this and jam to this and not fucking like hear what he said? So I would play it, but I don't want to get copyrighted, so I'm not going to play it. I went to a lyric page and I pulled up the lyrics. So a rapper named Be Legit featured in this song. So they were disgusting together on this track. And so E40 needs to be fucking called out by somebody with a bigger name than me for this shit too, by the way. Okay. Playing this game because and we're my age B. I met her last night and today she paged me. This is Be Legit saying this.
Oh god.
Want to know if Be Legit can kick it tonight? Only 16. Way too tight. Then this is the part where E40 comes in, is he says, but age ain't nothing but a number. Baby got her hair done by Shonda. 9, 10, 11, and up. If you bleed, you get fucked.
No.
End song. That's E40.
No.
Right there.
No.
And then and I thought he said no, not 10, 11 and up. The lyrics say 9, 10, 11 and up. So either he said 9 or he said 11. Either way, he said that next part about if you bleed.
Oh my god.
Yeah. And you know what? This is one of those things where I gotta say, you have an expectation of what you think would follow from that. Like, no, dude, E40 still, and nothing ever happened to him. And I gotta say, unrelated. You know why I stopped listening to E40? Well, because I just listened to this song again recently and saw how disturbing that part was. But it just kind of like E40 sounds like a kid when a kid goes, if you listen to any E40 song, that's what E40 sounds like.
My baby, I actually do a decent impression. My name's E40. I come from black. That's how we do. Like that's all you have to do.
Yeah. That's pretty accurate. Yeah, that's pretty accurate. So that's why I stopped. But like the song, I just like, sometimes in your head you just remember a song you haven't heard in like fucking 10 years.
Right.
You're like, oh yeah, and then you go turn it on. This is the experience that I had recently. Sideways. I was like, fucking sideways. I'm rolling sideways, this way, that way. And then that part comes on. I'm like, okay, well, fucking.
So I'll say this, and then I'm ready to wrap it up because I need to do something to not be pissed off before I go to bed.
Yeah, you gotta like watch cartoons and smoke weed or something. Like, fucking got to take your mind off of something. Yeah,
I have two new girlfriends on TikTok that we love to talk. We love to talk. And it's fun. It's not anything in this nature that we've been talking but it's comical, and it's fun, and everything is above par, way above par, and consensual. But I felt the same way. Now, when I go back and I listen to R. Kelly, and as much of that shit that I rocked with, man, when I listen to that motherfucker's lyrics now, I'm like, whoa, you were actually, the entire time you were actually telling us what the fuck you were doing. You were actually telling us what the fuck you were doing. And let's just start it. Age is not a number. Age.
you know, I like the response I like when somebody says age is nothing but a number, is jail is nothing but a place.
Right. Okay. Game over. Exactly. Game over.
All jail is a place. I mean, there are some details about that place that separate it from the place you're in, as is also the case with the number of age. So, yeah.
And yes, Virillion, the two girlfriends that I'm talking about, they are not A minors. They're not A minors.
If anybody doesn't know why Oz is saying A minor in that tone, you gotta go catch up on the Kendrick versus Drake beef. I'm just gonna say that much. Drake is probably trying to strike a chord, and it's probably A minor.
It's not A minor.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No. You know what though was way worse than just Kendrick calling him out for it was then Drake's most recent diss track. I don't even remember the name of his most recent one. It was the worst clapback I've ever heard. It was the worst diss track. It sounded like he fired his ghostwriters and tried writing one on his own.
Bro. So now see, this is my bag. This is where you gotta let me jump in. This is my bag. Like I watch, listen, like this shit's my bag. So let me break it. Let me give a quick breakdown. What had happened was the boogeyman was living in Drake's dreams, his thoughts, his chats, everything, right? He couldn't get rid of him. And he came in, what was the Heart version 6 or the Heart 6 or whatever it was. And he even said it. All of a sudden, I've become depressed. But you can tell the difference between that track and the other, 3, whatever he put out. You can tell his ghostwriters were like, bro, we're exhausted. We are exhausted. We're not doing another one. He did that shit all by himself. And how do we know that? He made so many missteps. In that track.
And his argument is that he couldn't have fucked young girls. He's way too famous to have done that. He's too rich and famous to have done that and not got caught. Saying that the same year, it was never a good idea to say that. 2024 is the worst year for you to think that response is gonna work. It was a bad defense a year ago. It's a horrible defense today. I mean, you are literally seeing famous person after famous person after famous person. These are multimillionaire motherfuckers. Get exposed, get caught, and they've been getting away with it for years. So this argument of like, if I did that, I would have been exposed. Like, well, we're at that part now. That's the part we're at, Drake. This is the part.
That's where Drake's not smart enough. This is where motherfuckers tried to tell Drake you're dealing with the boogeyman, bro. This is the boogeyman. It's K. Dot. It's Kung Fu Kenny. He's going to work your ass, right? So, a minute ago, Verlian said B flats, B sharp. Here's the problem. Here's the problem, Drake. You're talking about chords that don't exist. You're talking about chords that don't exist. He told you A minor. That's an actual chord. That's an actual note. You're talking about shit that doesn't exist. And here's where I'll hit the home run, where people didn't even pick up on this. And I still say, and I've been tracking this shit like a hawk. And I'm subscribed to, I don't even know how many reaction
every like 2 hours. I'm checking both Drake and Kendrick's YouTube channels. Like, did they drop another? Yeah, I'm staying on it.
I'm talking about the B sharp, the B sharp, because
okay.
he was like B sharp. You know what? Let's say all of them are real. Let's say all of them are what people are missing. And I'm the only one. I will flex and say this, I'm the only one so far that's picked up on this. When he does that, you're a fan at the end of you a fan. This is now a triple. This is a triple. He's telling him not just you're a fuck, you're a phantom. Everybody now go look up the definition according to Webster. What is the definition of a phantom? Well,
he also said, I see dead people.
Oh no, but see, and that's another double. That's another double.
Dead people, ghosts.
Well, because he referred to the actor from Sixth Sense in the last diss. Like that's what Drake, like 50 tried to tell you. 50 tried to tell you, like, I've read this book and watched the movie. Why are you doing this? Why are you doing this? Stop it. You're going to end your career. You are literally going to end your career fucking with this man. But Drake decided to do it anyway. But when he said, you're a fan, you're a fan, he's saying phantom. Something apparent to sense, but with no substantial existence. So go back and re-listen, and you heard it here from your boy first. Listen, the boogeyman's on another level.
Right.
I'm a phantom. He don't give a fuck. He don't give a fuck.
Right. But nah, so we see the, I don't know, the religious defense is coming. I just this is my prophecy. Is Drake's gonna go, I found Jesus.
I mean, I would not be surprised, because K. Dot already called him out. Like, I already know your religious claims are bullshit. he already called that out.
Yeah, he'll still be like, no, but I really found God. And you know what? As long as he says it, There are always going to be people. There's the sunk cost bias, right? If somebody's already been defending him, there's some people. It's just
There's
they've
always a
already. Yeah, some people they can't just turn back and say, "All right, I was wrong." Like they're just gonna have to find whatever desperate thing they can. And you know what? Fuck those people. There's shit you don't defend. You know, like I met somebody who was practically a celebrity, and I actually had some opportunities in knowing this person. This person was doing some very horrible things that I became aware of. I called this person out on it. Would have had better career opportunities if I didn't, but you shouldn't put people on a fucking pedestal to a point where you're not calling out their immoral behavior. And you know what? To like most people do that. Like most people do that. But not me. We calling out everybody.
Especially you, Drake.
These hands and these words are both rated E. For motherfucking everybody.
Oh, I'll say so, and I'll be on. I'll bounce. When he gave the history lesson, when he gave Aubrey the history lesson at the end of the last one, you're not like us. You know, when he gave him the history lesson and said, "You're not a colleague, you're a colonizer," and then let the beat right. Then he just let the beat right. I was like, "Oh, this motherfucker, he don't give a fuck. He don't give a fuck."
Yeah.
He don't give a fuck.
No, but taking it back to the original topic though, I think part of the problem is that people have this expectation to be seen as redeemable in the eyes of society if they invoke religion into what it is that they're doing. And maybe Drake's going to do that. Maybe he's not going to. I'm interested in seeing what happens. I think more than likely he's going to. The guy that we saw at the beginning of this stream, the guy that I played in the video, the body cam footage. I mean, this guy absolutely. I'm again not arguing that if he was secular, he would have not been a pedophile, but absent of religion, I don't think he would have felt as justified and bold in his actions as he did. I mean, he was citing his religious beliefs as his justification for doing what he was doing. And furthermore, with other people, if they get caught and they do know that they did something wrong, they do have something they can cling to if what they can cling to is an ideology that says that anyone and anyone could be forgiven for whatever they did. Anyone, anything, like nothing is too far that it's unforgivable. I think that that's a bad principle. I think there definitely exist things that are too far that should never be forgiven. That should never be looked past, never be excused. There's no redemption for it. And especially by somebody other than yourself. But Christians believe that. Christians really believe, like, well, Jesus died for my sins. He redeemed me. It's like not only the idea of being able to get bailed out, but to bail yourself out, but to get bailed out by somebody else, not of jail, of actual accountability, of actual wrongdoing, of actual immorality itself. The idea that it's redeemable by somebody else is highly problematic, and we see examples all the time of what it leads to. So, hold on. I see obsession that creates an entitlement over others as dangerous and something we need to be addressing from all angles to reduce the number of victims. Yeah, absolutely. Right. So Jesus died for my sins, so I can do anything in Jesus' name and get away with it. If you accept Jesus as your Lord and Savior.
Only if though.
Only if though. Only if though. There's one more condition. One more condition. And then you're good. But yeah, that is obviously a huge problem. The Christian influences are a large component in both victimhood and predatory behaviors. Well, you're right. And you know what, though? A lot of we talked about abusers. Abusers always need to be the victim. They always need to have sympathy. And if they're not the victim of somebody else, they're the victim of their own circumstances. And this is why they're going to appeal to, oh, well, I have a mental illness, right? It's not uncommon at all for abusers to try to manipulate the situation into making them look like they're the victim. And again, even if they don't think that the victim is somebody else, they're the victim of the circumstances. So as Lord or as Savior or both? I'm pretty sure both. Pretty sure both. Yeah, definitely both. Yeah, look, thinking about what Christian theology actually is, both. But yeah, so church is structured grooming. Every church is different, but yeah, I mean, the religions that these churches are of are religions that are from a time when marrying children was a more common act. So they are structured, they're built on a structure from that time. So yeah, this is the problem is people think that the church is perfect, so they don't want to change it. But
that's the problem.
That's the problem is they can't evolve and grow out of these sort of things, right? And in the case of a Muslim, okay, if Muslims think that Muhammad was perfect, and let's say we're Muslims, or a group of people are Muslims, and one person is doing action X, right? If you criticize the morality of me for doing action X, and I say Muhammad did action X, that is a valid defense according to our worldview. Because if Muhammad is perfect and Muhammad did it, it's necessarily not wrong.
Hold on,
right?
Muhammad, peace be upon him. Hold on,
Muhammad, yeah. Muhammad, the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. Yeah.
Sorry,
Right.
I had to.
Yeah. So, let's see. I'd say even if someone was to pick up and read the Bible without a church, they would still do what their mind interpreted it to be.
Without a church, I would agree. Without a church, I would agree with that.
Yeah.
Because it is the influence, the indoctrination of the corporation. That's what I like to call it now. The corporation that we call church that influences everything when it comes to that Bible. Yeah, I would align with that.
Yeah, you know what though? What happens in reality is a lot of people, if they decide to read the Bible on their own, and they start seeing things like, Numbers 31, 17, and 18 is normally my go-to. Where it says for the Israelites to go to the Midianites, kill all the men and kill all the men, both men and little boys, and you kill the grown women, and then the little girls you keep for yourself, right? So what a lot of people do when they find something like that, or says to kill a man if he lies with another man as one lies with a woman, what they've done is an abomination, they should be put to death. That's what it says. What a lot of people do is they go, I don't understand this. I need to talk to someone who does. And so what they do is they go to a church and they have a pastor give them some apologetic or some convoluted interpretation of what it is. And ultimately, this is why a lot of people, they don't read the Bible. Most Christians don't read the Bible. They have the Bible read to them by someone who selected what teachings he wants them to follow. And he's given his own interpretation of it. A lot of them don't even know how to make heads or tails of a lot of what they read. But to them, that's what their pastors are for. They're like, that's what my pastor is for. I do. And you cite a Bible verse, you're like, okay, how do you explain this then? You say God doesn't command. You said God doesn't create evil. What about Isaiah 45:7, where he says, I create the light, the dark, the good, and the evil? I got to talk to my pastor. And they just got to get their pastor to come up with some fucking
excuse,
word salad, some mental gymnastics, excuse. they do their best to memorize what their pastor said to them. And then that's why a lot of the time you hear people repeat things that they've heard before. I could very easily tell the difference between a person talking to me and using their own words versus a person talking to me and regurgitated something that they've heard before. To me, it's very obvious to tell the difference. And in many cases, depending on the person, I'm like, not only do I know you didn't say that, I could tell who did say it by the way you worded it. Right. So that's what you get a lot of it. And let's see. The Bible advocates for anything: grooming, rape, slavery. If someone took that to be true, then they would interpret that to be what to do. Yeah, I'm not gonna disagree with that on all. And the thing is they have contradictory verses, and I know a lot of Christians will be like, try to point a contradiction, and it's like the Bible. It's so much more easy than the Quran, because the Quran, some of the contradictions, it's like it's harder to pinpoint them. They're there, but it's like there's more ways for someone to go, well, technically the way that it's worded in English says this. But then here's the thing about the Bible though, is it's like, okay, here's the commandment not to kill, and then here's several times a commandment to kill. Like, kill and don't kill are pretty fucking opposite commands. Do kill, do not kill. Those are not the same thing. Now, some of the higher tier apologists are going to probably bring up hermeneutics and translation errors, and they're going to talk about how it actually, if you look at this version of it, this word would have been a better word for murder rather than killing. That's why if you look at the New King James Version, that same verse says, thou shalt not murder instead of thou shalt not kill, because not all killing is murder while all murder is killing. So now you have a way that you could argue around it. But then that's when I get to the problem of divine hiddenness, where I say, if God has a fucking message and he wants you to know his message, the very least he could do is give you the message himself. If you're not following the message, or you're not taking the time to read it yourself, then they could say that that's on you. But you take the initiative to read it yourself, then, I mean, God's all powerful, can do anything, has a message, wants to communicate it to you. There's no excuse for him not to be able to communicate the accurate version of it to you. But so for that reason, the apologists are always going to have that excuse for those kind of verses and those kinds of contradictions. But the reality is, with either the Quran or the Bible, if somebody reads the Quran and they say, all right, says to cut the necks of the non-believers, even if the apologetic works for that, and you go, well, no, because this was referring to a specific group of non-believers, and these non-believers were going to attack them, and therefore this was actually warning these people to start cutting the necks of these people because they were going to war. And so this was actually a war cry rather than a commandment to go out and kill innocent people. Here's the thing, though, is even if you want to take that defense for the Quran, if somebody picks up the Quran, reads it, it says, if you meet non-believers, start cutting necks. And upon reading that, that person decides, upon meeting believers, to cut their necks, as in cut their heads off. It is true that Islam caused them to do that. It is true that the Quran and their honest interpretation of it led to their actions, which was to cut somebody's head off for being an atheist. And I mean, a lot of parts in the world, so many people would kill you for being an atheist that it would be stupid to tell people you're an atheist there. If I was out in Bangladesh, I wouldn't be letting people know I'm an atheist. And there are a lot of countries like in Bangladesh, there's not a death penalty for atheism, legally speaking, but the likelihood that you'll get killed for being an atheist is very high. So you just don't fucking tell people you're an atheist. So, yeah, the church does hide a lot of immorality for the appearance of being moral. Yeah. They hide all kinds of immorality. The Catholic Church, going beyond the fact that they shuffle people that they know were child molesters around between, from church to church to church, is There was I think it was in Canada, a Catholic church where there was like a mass grave found. This was like what, 2 years ago or something. I mean, they're like probably full genocides the Catholic Church has committed that we haven't even discovered yet. And I say yet, I think we'll be discovering more. And then some we maybe won't discover. And I'm just talking about one church. There's other churches in the Catholic Church, right? Yeah, man. There's a lot of there's a lot of what religion does is I'm not and I'm like I said with the pedophile situation and religion is religion it's not going to take a good person and make them a bad person, but it is going to cause a good person to do bad things that they otherwise wouldn't have, and it's going to make bad people think that they're good people.
Right. Religion just fucks everything up. Can we just say that religion fucks everything up? Can we just say that? Can we just say that?
It's not about being an atheist. It's about saying there is no God, which goes against blasphemy laws. That is, if saying I'm an atheist is blasphemy, and you said a Hindu won't get killed even though they have a different God to a Muslim, that means it is about being an atheist. Because if you say that there's a different God, you know, in Islam that is blasphemy too. They say there is like there are shirts that say there is no God but Allah. They're like Muslim, they will say there is no God but Allah. So to say that there's a different God is also blasphemy, but the blasphemy laws don't apply to the Hindus, they just apply to the atheists. So that is about being an atheist. And a lot of religious people can fathom a person being of another religion and be like, all right, well, whatever. But if you don't believe in any religion, especially any God, there are a lot of people in the world that are shocked to hear that. Has anyone ever seen the Family Guy episode where Brian comes out as an atheist and the whole town of Quahog hates him? And it was Mayor Adam West when he was like an atheist. I would rather have a terrorist living amongst us. At least they believe in a God, even if it's a smelly brown God. that is the way they think. That is the way a lot of people think. At least they believe in a God. It might not be the right one, but at least it is one. Like the way a lot of people think is, oh, if you're an atheist, you have no reason to be moral. When on the contrary, if you're a theist, you can think anything that you do is moral. Or not for all theists, but you see what I'm saying is for you, your belief in God provides you a reason to feel justified in your behavior. I mean, I'm not saying I don't ever do shit that I know is wrong. I mean, I try to work on improving my character and being a better person. But you know, like any of us, I definitely make some fucking mistakes. But I at least there's behavior I know that I know not to defend, right? And that's why like I'll apologize or maybe even be too embarrassed to talk about something. But shit that's not defensible, I'm trying to think. Sometimes I realize I'm like I'm not as bad as a person as I think I am because I just see the world that I live in and I'm like, oh shit, I'm not that bad at all. But he said we're talking law here, not what people think.
Can I jump in here real quick?
Yeah.
First of all, I want to say thanks for having me on. I'm a dip because I am going to go. I'm going to do my. I do a nightly troll. I do a nightly troll on TikTok. So I'm going to go do that because it helps me go to bed. It helps me go to bed.
All right, hell yeah. Are you going to do you going to stream it?
Yeah, hell yeah.
All right. Well, I'm gonna stay on here for a little bit. Once you set up your stream, post the link to your upcoming stream in the live chat here, so anybody that's watching right now could go. I mean, there's a lot of overlap. I'm sure like most of the people in the live chat right now were in your live chat, but yeah, everybody go to Oz's channel. If you want to just put a link to your channel in the live chat, then they can go find you there. Because I'm definitely gonna fucking watch you troll some Christians right after I get off this thing.
Well, it's not even all these Christians. Like last night, I had two 60-year-old women that were in love with me. In love with me. So it's
I call that a Tuesday morning. I don't know. I call that the average day in my life.
It's what I do. But
I can't go an hour without two 60-year-old women falling in love with me. This is normal everyday stuff.
No, but I just want to say thanks for having me as part of this conversation, because these are important conversations. And as always, thank you. Anytime you want me here, man, I'll jump on.
Likewise, man. All right, thanks for coming on. Appreciate it having this discussion with you. Yeah, cheers, man. See you soon.
Oh yeah, love you, brother.
All right, love you too. Late. Yeah, no, this so this whole conversation, I know that from the initial topic, with the body cam footage, we then, roller coastered into like celebrities and everything. It stayed on topic of the way society reacts to people that are predators, not only child predators, just sexual predators, but we did put a lot of emphasis on the child predators. And the religious aspect, I said right from the get-go, and I'm going to say it again here at the end. I'm not saying that I think every Christian is a pedophile. I'm not saying that I think Christianity or Islam turns non-pedophiles into pedophiles, but I do very strongly believe, and I think I have evidence, as we've seen in the video that I showed, that what religion does is it causes people to feel justified in their actions. I think if that man had that desire, absent of his religiosity, he may very well have not thought that it was okay. That I do believe. As with Khalil Allah, Justin Downing, if you look at the way he defended adult relationships with minors, yeah, that came after his conversion. So Islam didn't turn him into a pedophile, but it gave him defenses for his pedophilic behavior. And that's the problem that I wanted to address with the religious aspect here. I know a lot of the religious folks, they're going to say, well, if you're an atheist, then you don't have any standard of morality. But really, if you're a theist, you have a standard of morality that's adjustable to whoever you are. It's just that you get to treat it as though it's objective. But they don't all agree on it. They don't all agree on it. They all have their own interpretation. And any two people who both believe in God and disagree on what God wants or doesn't want, neither of them is more justified in saying God thinks this, God thinks that, than the other one is. How is one person who believes in God more justified in saying, I know what God wants, than another person who believes in God? You're both just people. And so that I think is the role that religion plays in all of this. And the way children are thought of as owned in the Bible. Yeah, people being property is a pretty big thing in the Abrahamic faiths. Yes, and this is what I was saying. In fact, I believe that he started. I think the abuse went on for like 3 years, as far as I'm aware. And at the time he was arrested, he had been a Muslim for like 1.5 years or 2 years. So yeah, no, I think he was already doing it, but he didn't have a justification for it, right? So he was completely in the closet about it. He knew it was shameful, but then he found this tribe of people that had this idea that it's not wrong to groom a child for marriage. And he had group think is a big thing. Echo chambers are a very real thing. They're very influential on the way people think. People feel a lot more justified in any position that they have if other people share that position. It's just a human trait being validated, right? And I want to make sure I clarify. No, I don't think that the average Muslim is a pedophile, but I do think that Islam provides the justification that people like him are going to use. So it's not only that it gave him a reason to feel justified in his actions, it gave him a community of other people that feel that he's justified. And on top of that, then sent him money to help him pay for his legal fees on the basis of him being under religious persecution. Because, like we talked about earlier, these predators always see themselves as victims. Always. It's always, well, I'm a victim somehow. Yeah, there's good validation and bad validation, and religion can't help distinguish between the two. Absolutely. So for everybody that tuned into the stream tonight, I want to say thank you for tuning into my channel to watch my content. I want Oz to, he probably didn't even have time to set that stream up yet, but maybe I could I just look up a link to his channel real quick. Let me go find that on YouTube, and I'll just plug him from there. Because I know some people, I don't know how many, but I know some people that are tuned in today are tuned in because of the fact that that I was in the live chat on his stream, and he also plugged this and let me share the link there. So I want to return that favor, my boy. All right, so all right, and then I'm gonna be hanging out. I'll be in the live chat to this stream. I just shared the channel. He didn't set up a stream yet, so you go to that channel. Also, everybody, I'm just gonna say straight up, if you're listening in the future and you're not gonna be able to catch that stream, Oz does some badass DJ work. If you ever just hanging out and you're just trying to, maybe you just want something to listen to as background music while you play video games, or if you have a job where you're able to wear headphones while you work, Oz puts those mixes down. And you know what? I feel proud to say this. I was listening to Oz DJ since before he was really good at it. Because when Oz first bought some DJ equipment and started doing the DJ streams, I'm not saying it was hard to listen to, but if you listen to somebody play an instrument and they're still figuring it out, you know what you're hearing. You're hearing the process of somebody getting better. And I saw that with Oz. And at this point, oh, cool, awesome. There's a link to the actual stream. All right, so his next stream, that's going to be right there. So yeah, everybody, like I said, go tune into Oz's channel. The remixes he does, he's done some shit where he was taking clips of pastors and Christian rap and mixing it, and oh my god, it was fucking hilarious. But even when he's not being comedic about it, it's just he's good at mixing. Something good to listen to. So there's that. As for the viewers, I'm going to end this as I always do by saying, whether you're theist, atheist, religious, or secular, I wish nothing but health and happiness for you and everybody that you love. Stay safe, everybody. And yeah, stay the fuck away from the wrong people. You know what I mean.